To notice that the the Ming Dynasty was the dynasty before the Qing Dynasty, and is pretty much what started off the Qing Dynasty. So, during the Ming Dynasty, everyone supported it, they loved the Ming Dynasty, and then they started to notice that the dynasty was cursed by gods, as they would say. And they started to realize that they had a lot of economic problems, and a lot of natural disasters was happening in China. So they lost a lot of people that supported the Ming Dynasty. During the Ming Dynasty's fall, they became weaker and weaker, and out came the Qing Dynasty, ready to pick up all the parts that were left of the Ming Dynasty and make China even stronger. And so the Qing Dynasty was some sort of a hero to them, and that hero was Emperor Shangzi, and he reigned from the age of 13, and he was looked up upon as a savior. During the Qing Dynasty, there were a lot of customs that were being created, such as foot binding, where women would break their own bones of their feet so that they could fit into 3-inch shoes. This was actually attractive towards men at the time. Another custom was dragon clothing, where emperors or empresses of China would wear these clothes that had dragon patterns on them. Another thing was art, or being in the arts, such as dancing, singing, etc. See, if you were an artist, you would have an enormous amount of job opportunities, because the emperors love artists, so they would definitely hire you, and you would then be at the top of the pyramid, along with the emperor's servants. And then there's generals, nobles, and warriors, and then artists and peasants and slaves. But again, if you're an artist, you could move up on the pyramid and become way more successful. And if you're looking at it, this is what the pyramid would actually look like. That's where you want to be in life. Or so the Chinese thought. A job that can earn you a lot of money is if you were to be a merchant. Merchants sell a lot of things that a lot of people need. And some of these merchants could be farmers, and these farmers could produce rice, cotton, or opium. Now remember opium, because that's a really big deal in the Chinese. Now, what was commonly thought was that a lot of China was anti-merchant, but that's not really true. And that was under the Confucianism law. Now, Confucianism was social order, and Buddhism was spiritual order. Taoism was something that would show balance in life, or you're looking for balance in life. But a lot of people liked Confucianism, so some would actually convert into Confucianism.
Soon after China converted into Confucianism, Britain, France, and Germany decided to colonize in small areas in Southeast Asia. After France, Germany, and Britain colonized in Southeast Asia, the U.S. figured that Europe had too much power on imports and exports, so the U.S. decided to imply the one-door policy. After the one-door policy, there was a big war between China and Europe for the drug opium, and that eventually led to 20 to 40 million casualties.
Now, the U.S. was thinking about China and what would happen if Europe basically took over China. And so they didn't want that to happen. So what they did was they created the one-door policy. And what the one-door policy does is it just basically makes job opportunities and business opportunities equal for both Europeans and Chinese. Now, because everything was equal, the merchant business was a lot better, and they could financially make more off of this. Now that the English company has been with China for a long time, they've been mixing cultures, and the English have kind of spread out like butter on bread, because now the Chinese are learning their culture and their language, and the English is learning theirs.
Because of the other countries, the people of China wanted a change in their government. They wanted more freedom and less of a centralized government. Because there were more factories being produced, that means there were more jobs for people, which ended up benefiting the economy.
So the Chinese scholars thought that this was very wrong, and they did not like any of this change. But then the British came back saying, you can either stay in the Stone Age, or you can make money.